Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will study about narrative text. Before we continue, please like and subscribe this channel.
The definition of narrative text. Narrative text is a story with complication or problematic events, and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problems. An important part of narrative text is the narrative mode, the set of methods used to communicate the narrative through a process narration. The purpose of narrative text. The purpose of narrative text is to amuse or to entertain the reader with a story.
Language features atau ciri kebahasaan dalam narrative text. Yang pertama, menggunakan past tense. Yang kedua, menggunakan saying verb. Contohnya, told, said. Ketiga, menggunakan conjunction atau kalimat penghubung seperti before, after, soon, then, later, and etc. Selanjutnya, menggunakan urutan waktu yang tepat. Dan biasanya menggunakan dialog agar pembaca merasa bahwa cerita itu benar-benar nyata atau terjadi. Generic structure of narrative text. Yang pertama adalah orientation atau pengenalan cerita. Kedua, complication, masalah dalam cerita. Ketiga, resolution atau penyelesaian. Dan yang keempat adalah reorientation atau koda, yang berarti adalah amanat dari cerita.
Generic structures of narrative text. Orientation sets the scene, where and when the story happened, and introduces the participants of the story, who and what is involved in the story. Complication tells the beginning of the problems which leads to the crisis climax of the main participants. Resolution, the problem, the crisis is resolved, either in a happy ending or in a sad tragic ending. Reorientation coda. This is a closing remark to the story, and it is optional. It consists of a moral lesson, advice, or teaching from the writer. The kinds of narrative text. Folklore, folktale, personal experience, fairy tale, fable, legends, romance, mysteries, science fiction, horror stories, adventure stories, historical narratives, slice of life. Today we will study about folklore or folktale, maling kundang.
Malin kundang.
Orientation. Once upon a time, lived a diligent boy named Malin Kundang. He lived in the seashore with his mother. They were very poor, but they lived quiet and harmonious. One day, a big ship close to the beach near their village. They asked peoples to join work in their ship and went to the cross island. Malin Kundang wanted to join with them because he wanted to improve his family's life. But his mother didn't permit him. She worried to Malin. Malin still kept his argument, and finally he sailed with the big ship. Several years later, Malin Kundang sucked and he became rich trader. Then, he came to his native village with his beautiful wife. But his wife didn't know Malin's real descent. His happy mother quickly approached Malin and brought a plate of village cake, Malin's favorite, but Malin didn't admit that woman as his poor mother. and then he kicked the village cake which brought by his mother until scattered. His mother very broken heart because Marlin rebellious to her, who had growth him. Then his mother cursed Marlin became stone suddenly. The big ship which Marlin's had was vacillated by a big storm, and all of his crewmen tossed aside out. Marlin realized that was his fault at rebellious his mother. He bowed down and became a stone.
Sekarang kita akan menganalisis the language feature atau ciri kebahasaan pada cerita Malin Kundang. Berikut ini, the language feature dari cerita Malin Kundang adalah yang berwarna oranye. Yang pertama sekali ada once upon a time, live it, where, and live it. Selanjutnya ada one day, closed, asked, when, wanted, didn't, worried, kept, sailed, succeed, became, came, didn't, approach, broke, didn't, kicked, broke, and scattered. Dan selanjutnya ada broken, then, cursed, tossed, realized, fault, bought, and became.
The second folklore or folktale is Centurion.
Sang Kuryang.
Orientation. Once upon a time in West Java, Indonesia, lived a princess named Dayang Sambai. She was beautiful and kind-hearted. Her hobby was weaving cloth, but sometimes she could be very lazy. One day her weaving tool fell, but she was too lazy to get it herself. She shouted out,
"Can anybody help me get my tool? If you are a female, I will take you as my sister. If you are a male, I will marry you."
A male creature came, but it was a dog. His name was Chuman. He happily brought her the tool. Dayang Sambai was very surprised, but she had to keep her promise. She married the dog. Chuman was actually a man who had been cursed by a witch to become a dog. But at certain times, Chuman could turn back to be a normal man. Their only son, Centurion, was soon born, and he grew up to be a handsome and healthy boy. He always played with his very loyal dog, Chuman. He did not know that he was actually his father, because Dayang Sambai hid the secret from him. Centurion liked to hunt in the woods, of course with Chuman. Convocation. One day Dayang Sambai asked him to bring home a deer's heart. But after hunting for several days, he could not find any deer in the woods. He didn't want to disappoint his mother and was thinking hard about how to bring home a deer's heart. Suddenly, he had a very bad idea. He killed Chuman. Then he brought his heart home and gave it to Dayang Sambai. Centurion could not cheat her. She knew it was Chuman's heart. So she got very angry and hit Centurion's forehead with a piece of wood and told him to leave. With a bad wound on his forehead, Centurion left the village. Many years later, Centurion grew up to be a powerful, handsome man. One day, he went back to his village. He met a beautiful young woman there, and he fell in love with her at first sight. It was Dayang Sambai. She never got older because she had been granted eternal youth by the gods. Centurion did not know that she was his mother, so she came to her and proposed to marry her. When he walked closer to her, Dayang Sambai got very surprised. She saw the scar on Centurion's forehead, and soon she knew that he was her son, who left her a long time ago. She told him the truth and tried hard to explain it to him, but he did not believe in her. She did not want to break his heart, so she accepted his proposal, but gave him an impossible thing to do. She wanted him to build a lake and a boat in just one night. Centurion agreed, because he knew that he could make it with the help of his genies. By midnight, he finished the lake and then started making the boat. S.Pd.I was thinking hard to find a way to fail him. Resolution. Before dawn, she asked the people in the village to burn the woods in the east, and the light made all the cocks crow. Thinking that the night would be over soon, the genies ran fast and left Centurion before the boat was finished. Centurion realized that S.Pd.I had cheated him. He got very angry and he kicked the boat upside down. It gradually became a mountain, and it is now known as Intitancube in Paraher.
Selanjutnya, marilah kita identifikasi the language feature atau ciri kebahasaan dari cerita Sang Kuryang. Yang pertama ada once upon a time, selanjutnya lived, was, call, was, shout out, dan percakapan.
Can anybody help me get my tool? If you are a female, I will take you as my sister. If you are a male, I will marry you.
Selanjutnya ada came, was, broke, was, had to, married, was, had been cursed, could, grew, played, didn't, was, hid, liked. Selanjutnya ada one day, asked, could not, didn't, was, killed, broke, gave, could, was, hid, so, told, left. When, met, fell, got, had been granted. Selanjutnya ada did not, was, came, proposed, walked, got, saw, knew, was, left, told, tried, did not, accept, gave, dan wanted. Selanjutnya ada knew, could, finish it, started, dan was. Selanjutnya ada before dawn, asked, met, would, finish it, realize it, had cheated, got, kicked, dan became. Sampai di sini dulu pembahasan kita hari ini. Thank you so much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.